On a warm, sunny afternoon at the local zoo, families wandered through lush pathways lined with vibrant flowers and playful sounds of children's laughter. The air was filled with anticipation as visitors eagerly awaited their turn to glimpse the magnificent animals. Among the various attractions, the gorilla enclosure stood out, a large, serene habitat designed to mimic a natural rainforest. Towering trees swayed gently in the breeze, and the sound of distant waterfalls added a soothing ambiance. Inside the enclosure, a family of gorillas, two impressive adults, and a curious juvenile moved gracefully among the greenery, showcasing their playful nature to the captivated audience. On that day, however, an unexpected event was about to unfold. A small child, overwhelmed by the sights and sounds around them, climbed over the safety barrier, drawn by an undeniable fascination with the gentle giants. In a moment that seemed to stretch on forever, the child lost their balance and tumbled into the enclosure. Gasps rippled through the crowd as parents instinctively pulled their children closer, hearts racing in alarm. The atmosphere shifted from jovial excitement to tense apprehension as everyone held their breath, unsure of what would happen next. At that moment, the spotlight turned not just to the child in distress, but also to the majestic gorillas inside, unaware that they were about to showcase an incredible display of compassion and instinct. This unforeseen encounter would soon become a story of bravery and unexpected bonds between species, capturing hearts far beyond the confines of the zoo. The moment was sudden and chaotic. As laughter and chatter filled the air, the child, a curious 4-year-old, edged too close to the enclosure's wall, captivated by the playful gorillas just a few feet away. In their eagerness, they hopped up onto the barrier for a better view. Then, without warning, a slip on the edge sent them tumbling into the enclosure below, a startling plummet that cut through the joyful atmosphere like a knife. A collective gasp erupted from the crowd, and panic gripped the child's family. The mother instinctively lunged forward, her heart racing as she screamed her child's name, while onlookers exchanged wide-eyed glances filled with shock and fear. Children clutched their parents, uncertainty etched across their faces. Murmurs turned into frantic shouts as zoo staff rushed to assess the situation, their voices urgent as they shouted for calm and instructed others to step back. Inside the enclosure, the gorillas paused in their play, their large eyes fixated on the child who now lay on the ground, amid a swirl of leaves and dirt. The contrast between the child's fragile form and the powerful presence of the gorillas intensified the gravity of the situation. As laughter turned to cries of concern and shouts for help clamored through the air, everyone held their breath, a mixture of dread and hope coursing through them as they awaited the gorillas' response to this bewildering new arrival in their realm. As the child lay on the ground, wide-eyed and bewildered, the adult gorillas approached with a mix of curiosity and caution. The larger male, dominant yet calm, stepped forward first, his massive frame casting a shadow over the small figure. He leaned in, his dark eyes studying the child intently, tilting his head as if trying to comprehend this unexpected intruder in their territory. The mother gorilla soon followed suit, her protective instincts kicking in as she observed the situation. She sidled closer, gently nudging the juvenile gorilla who lingered by her side. With a series of soft grunts and gestures, she communicated reassurance to both her young one and the newcomer. Rather than displaying aggression or fear, the family exhibited an undeniable curiosity about the small human who had unexpectedly fallen into their midst. As seconds turned into what felt like an eternity for the onlookers outside the enclosure, a remarkable scene unfolded. The gorillas began to engage with the child in an astonishingly gentle manner. The juvenile playfully approached, its body language relaxed and inviting. It stretched out a hand toward the child as if inviting them into their world. Meanwhile, the adult male maintained a watchful presence nearby, exuding a calm yet protective energy that seemed to envelop the enclosure. With every moment passing, it became increasingly clear that these magnificent creatures were not just reacting to a potential threat, rather they were embodying empathy and curiosity, turning a tense situation into a display of unexpected understanding and connection. As the dust settled around the child, Their initial shock began to transform into a whirlwind of emotions. Fear gripped their small heart, and confusion clouded their bright eye. The sudden drop and the chaotic sounds of the onlookers outside faded into a distant hum, replaced by the gentle rustling of leaves and the quiet, curious grunts of the gorillas nearby. In this strange new world, innocence prevailed. The child glanced around, taking in the towering presence of the adult gorillas and the playful energy of the juvenile. Although trembling with uncertainty, there was an undeniable spark of fascination that shone through their fear. Tentatively, they sat up, brushing dirt off their clothes, feeling both vulnerable and captivated by the gentle giants who had approached them so cautiously. The child's instincts kicked in as they found themselves drawn toward the juvenile gorilla. With wide eyes filled with wonder, they reached out a tiny hand, a gesture full of trust and curiosity rather than apprehension. In that moment, time seemed to stand still as both species shared an unspoken connection, a bond formed by pure innocence. Despite the unrest just moments before, the child began to relax, responding to the playful antics of the young gorilla who mirrored their movements and bounced back with gentle gestures. Laughter bubbled forth from within the child, intertwining with relief as they encountered not fearsome beasts, but compassionate beings who seemed just as intrigued by their presence. In this extraordinary encounter, fear gave way to exploration and kinship, creating a moment that would be etched in memory for all involved. Rapidly, the zoo staff sprang into action, their training kicking in amidst the chaos. The head zookeeper, an experienced professional with years of handling crises, quickly assessed the situation, weighing the urgency of the child's safety against the need to keep the gorillas calm. He signaled to his team, who immediately formed a perimeter around the enclosure, ensuring that onlookers remained at a safe distance while they devised a plan. Communication was vital. Staff members began coordinating with each other through well-placed radios, calling for additional assistance and equipment to facilitate a rescue, while maintaining a careful eye on the gorillas and child with. Their priority was clear: to act swiftly, but thoughtfully, protecting both the small human and the delicate dynamics of the gorilla family. One zookeeper cautiously approached, equipped with a tranquilizer dart as a last resort. However, with the gorillas exhibiting gentleness rather than aggression, he hesitated, understanding that any sudden movement could disrupt their calm demeanor. Instead, he utilized a soothing voice and calming words to establish control over the scene without further escalating tension. As other staff members prepared specialized nets and ladders for a safer extraction, eyes remained glued to the remarkable interaction unfolding within the enclosure. Knowing that time was of the essence, each zookeeper balanced urgency with care, hoping that their measured response would lead to a successful resolution, a blend of professionalism mingled with deep respect for the animals involved in this extraordinary circumstance. In an astonishing turn of events, the adult gorillas began to exhibit behaviors that were both unexpected and deeply touching. Rather than responding with aggression to the child's presence, they circled around the little one with a grace that belied their imposing size. The male gorilla positioned himself between the child and the enclosure wall, his muscular form an unyielding barrier, but his demeanor was anything but threatening. He seemed almost vigilant, standing guard as if to reassure the child that they were safe. Meanwhile, the mother gorilla approached slowly, her maternal instincts shining through as she crouched down to the child's level, her gentle eyes radiating warmth and curiosity. With careful movements, she extended a hand toward the child, inviting them to enter. The juvenile gorilla mirrored this affection, bounding playfully around them, performing small spirited leaps to capture the child's attention and coax laughter from their lips. As the child giggled in delight, the female gorilla exuded a palpable sense of calm that enveloped the enclosure. The sight of this fragile figure amidst such powerful creatures created an extraordinary tableau of compassion and kinship. The onlookers outside felt their anxiety wane as they witnessed this incredible bond, a moment where two worlds collided in harmony. In that sacred space of empathy, the gorillas had transformed what could have been a terrifying ordeal into a heartwarming display of care and gentleness, leaving everyone awestruck at the marvel of nature before them. As the scene unfolded, a mixture of emotions washed over the onlookers, creating an atmosphere thick with tension and anticipation. Initially, Gasps and cries of alarm echoed through the crowd as they watched the child tumble into the gorilla enclosure. Fear gripped their hearts and frantic whispers filled the air as parents hurriedly shielded their children from sight, unsure of what would happen next. Then, as the gorillas approached with unexpected gentleness, a profound sense of relief began to spread. Spectators gasped again, but this time it was in astonishment. The protective actions of the adult gorillas transformed despair into hope. Faces that were once tight with anxiety now softened as smiles emerged, witnessing the remarkable display of compassion unfolding before them. It was as if time had slowed, pulling everyone into a shared moment of awe. Mothers clutched their children a little closer, yet eyes remained glued to the enclosure, captivated by the child's laughter mingling with the playful antics of the juvenile gorilla. The sight was surreal, pure innocence meeting primal gentleness, leaving viewers both thrilled and teetering on the edge of disbelief. As zoo staff continued to prepare for a safe extraction, many in the crowd found themselves participating in a silent prayer of gratitude that the situation was not escalating into chaos. The cacophony of emotions shifted from fear to joy in an instant. They held their breath collectively, hearts racing with anticipation, realizing they were witnesses to a truly extraordinary moment, a rare intersection of human and animal compassion that would be etched in their memories forever. As the situation began to stabilize, the zookeepers knew it was time to initiate the rescue operation. They gathered in a circle, their eyes scanning the enclosure, carefully observing the interactions between the child and the gorilla. With tensions alleviated for the moment, they understood that while the gorillas were exhibiting protective behaviors, any sudden movement could still trigger unpredictability. The lead zookeeper coordinated with his team, outlining a cautious plan of action. They positioned a tall ladder against the back of the enclosure, allowing for a safe access point. Meanwhile, another staff member prepared a soft net designed to gently secure the child once they were close enough. Communication was key. Every member of the team needed to be synchronized in their approach. However, as they reached for equipment and adjusted angles, they faced an unexpected challenge. The adult gorillas shifted their positions to remain near the child, their large bodies forming a protective barrier. The zookeepers' hearts raced as they realized that getting close enough without alarming the gorillas would require patience and precision. Employing calm voices and slow movements, the team made incremental advances toward the child. At that moment, with laughter still bubbling from the joy of discovery, the child reached out for a nearby branch, prompting one of the juvenile gorillas to move playfully toward them. This fortunate distraction allowed a zookeeper to shift in just enough to extend a gentle hand, guiding the child towards safety. With everyone holding their breath in unison, a delicate balance of respect for both human and animal unfolded in this tense operation, encapsulating a rare moment where compassion governed instinct amid uncertainty. In the aftermath of the incident, both the child and the gorillas underwent thorough assessments to ensure their well-being. As the child emerged from the enclosure, they exhibited a mix of exhilaration and lingering shock. Medical staff who were on standby quickly attended to the little one. They conducted initial evaluations, checking for any injuries but found only minor scrapes and bruises, a fortunate outcome considering the circumstances. The child was reassured by comforting words from the medical team, who explained everything happening around them in gentle tone. After a brief examination, they were declared physically unharmed, but emotional support was arranged in light of the trauma experienced. The zookeepers offered to connect the family with counselors specializing in child psychology to help process this extraordinary event. Meanwhile, the gorillas were closely monitored by animal care staff. Their behavior remained stable after the encounter. The maternal instincts displayed by the mother gorilla seemed undiminished as she returned to caring for her young one. Experts conducted behavioral observations to ensure that no stress had been induced by the unusual occurrence, and thankfully both the adult and juvenile gorillas showed no signs of agitation or distress. As days passed, follow-up observations revealed that the gorillas resumed their usual routines seamlessly. For both the child and the gorillas, life gradually returned to normal. However, this unforgettable episode left an imprint on everyone involved. The zoo reflected on the experience, reinforcing their commitment to safety, while continuing to educate visitors about empathy and connection between species, an enduring reminder of this miraculous day. In the days following the incident, news outlets across the globe erupted with coverage, capturing the incredible story of a child's fall into a gorilla enclosure and the remarkable response of the gorilla. Headlines screamed with excitement, while social media swarmed with clips and images, igniting a firestorm of discussion and debate. People shared their thoughts across platforms, ranging from expressions of relief to awe at the protective instincts shown by the animal. The narrative gained traction not just as a captivating moment, but as a catalyst for deeper conversations about animal behavior and ethics in captivity. Many spoke passionately about the compassion exhibited by the gorillas, prompting questions about their intelligence and emotional capability. Animal rights advocates took to social media, engaging in discussions about the implications of keeping such majestic creatures in enclosed environments, while others defended zoos as places of education and conservation. Wildlife experts and psychologists weighed in, offering insights into gorilla behavior and maternal instincts, emphasizing that such displays reflect complex social structures in animal families. The zoo itself released statements reinforcing their commitment to both safety and education, framing this incident as an opportunity to educate the public on wildlife conservation. As more people shared their perspectives, a community dialogue emerged on how to ensure environments are safe for both humans and animals. This incident became emblematic of a broader conversation about empathy across species lines, fostering connections that extended beyond boundaries, marking it as a pivotal moment in public discourse surrounding animal welfare and human responsibility. The incident at the zoo served as a wake-up call, prompting vital conversations about safety protocols and the intricate dynamics of human-animal relationships. As discussions unfolded, it became clear that there were substantial lessons to be learned from this extraordinary event. First and foremost, zoos recognized the urgent need to enhance safety measures to prevent similar accidents. This included reviewing barrier heights, improving surveillance systems, and reinforcing visitor education on safe interactions with exhibits. Moreover, this situation illuminated the complexity of animal instincts within captive environments. The gorilla's protective behavior toward the child raised questions about their emotional capabilities and social intelligence. Experts began advocating for more enriched habitats that allow animals to express natural behaviors while maintaining safety for human visitors. Such discussions emphasized the importance of understanding animal welfare, not merely in terms of physical care, but also in fostering psychological well-being. In addition, the incident underscored the profound bond that can exist between humans and animals. Witnesses felt a deep connection to the gorilla's gentle actions, challenging preconceived notions about wildlife aggression. This moment created an opportunity to inspire empathy and awareness regarding conservation efforts. Through storytelling and education, zoos could promote understanding that animals are not just exhibits. They possess emotions and complex personalities worthy of respect. Ultimately, this event catalyzed a shift in how institutions approach both safety and animal welfare, fostering a commitment to create environments where both humans and animals can coexist harmoniously, while deepening the appreciation for the emotional lives of non-human beings. The zoo incident etched itself into the memories of visitors and staff, turning a near tragedy into a powerful lesson about compassion. In the aftermath, the zoo swiftly initiated both immediate and long-term reform. Enhanced safety measures were introduced to prevent future unauthorized enclosure access. Barriers were strengthened, and staff received advanced emergency response training. For the visitors, the day transformed into a treasured anecdote, a symbol of the connection between humans and animals. Inspired by the gorilla's calm demeanor, many departed with a renewed sense of empathy, sparking discussions about conservation that extended far beyond their visit. Parents used the event to teach their children about respecting wildlife and understanding animal emotion. The staff discovered a revitalized sense of purpose, energized by the shared experience. They leveraged the incident to deepen public engagement, conducting educational programs on animal behavior and enriching visitor interactions with the animal. Over time, the story of that remarkable day echoed within the community and beyond, serving as a potent reminder of the surprising bonds forged in moments of crisis. The gorilla's display of compassion cemented their place in the hearts of witnesses and spurred a wider dedication to animal welfare, proving that extraordinary events can catalyze significant change and enduring impact. The incident underscored the importance of vigilance and proactive measures in safeguarding both animals and visitors, ensuring the zoo remained a place of wonder and learning.